Yesterday was the finale of Power Tour 2023 in Bristol, Tennessee, and there was something there for everyone. Classic gassers, muscle cars, pickup trucks of all types, patina galore, wide rides, and the kind of stuff you won't see in your local Walmart parking lot. What I was really looking forward to was meeting Charlie and seeing his 1967 ProTouring Camaro. Charlie is a great guy, and his Camaro is amazing. He largely kept the Camaro stock look, but set the posture with a Heights front clip and a Detroit 4-link in the rear. His Borowski engine is a 427 cubic inch LS with a 2.9-liter Whipple supercharger and water-methanol injection. Let's talk with Charlie. So anyway, let's take a look in here. Of course, the first thing that comes to in sight is that big 2.9 Whipple, and this is a drive-by cable. It's not a drive-by wire. So Charlie has had to learn the art, or maybe he already had the art down. I can say I didn't so much, of throttle control.
Well, I grew up with fast cars, which we considered fast back in the early to mid 70s, which of course they weren't compared to what we have now. And I've always drag raced and street raced, which is not good, but I did. I don't mind a little fishtail here or there, but this one's a little different because it will fishtail on you at over 100 miles an hour if you want it to.
Now, you've had this now for about 3 years?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. And
it's been the same. I did take it back and get it painted. Got it painted. It's been a little over a year ago, year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally the same color and in pretty decent shape, but I took it back and had it redone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it looks great, and I think this is just a fantastic setup you have for doing the Power Tour. Now, this engine you had fitted with the water-methanol. How has that worked out for you in this one?
It works out good. I pretty much left that up to a couple of tuners, how they felt when it needed to come in, and it comes in very softly at lower boost and pretty much loads it up when it needs it at a higher boost.
Mm-hmm.
And does not use that much unless you are
right. Yeah. So you were saying on the Power Tour so far in your tank, it's about a 5-gallon tank in your trunk.
No, it's probably a 3-gallon, maybe a 3-gallon. It's a snow system. I left Atlanta, filled it up in Atlanta just to check it. So I went in and filled it up, and we just checked it, and it's probably at least half full. And I did take one trip down Z-Max and played with it a little bit on the road. So it's not coming into use that much, because I hadn't had that much boost.
Right.
But, it's definitely not wasting it. So.
Right. Yeah. But about that much out of your tank so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So very, very little unless you are jumping on it. But you have been known to jump on it.
Oh yeah.
How do you do with this in the quarter mile or eighth mile, whatever you're running?
Well, I haven't done anything to make it hook. I mean, I came out at Z-Max in second gear, eased out in second gear, and gave a little bit of throttle and broke loose. So I shifted into third at about 4,000 and pretty much just fishtailed down until fourth, and I failed at hook and squat in fourth. So I think it ran a low 1220 to 1230 at 123 at doing that. So
right. Yeah. So
I feel sure it's a high 9-second car if you want to hook it up.
Yeah, well, that's the whole key. Is there's too much torque on this to hook up street tires literally at any speed.
Yeah. And it's for fun. It's for pro tours and events like this, and it wasn't built to be at the drag strip. So
right. Yeah, it's for your own personal enjoyment as opposed to clocking the best DTs. If that was your goal, it wouldn't have this stance. It wouldn't have these tires.
Instead of a pro tour.
Exactly. I guess in the interior, we already talked about the transmission. What'd you do with your gauges?
I've got Dakota digital gauges in it, and they work well. I do not have it hooked up to the Holley system, but the one the naturally aspirated Borowski motor I'm putting in my second gen, I did do that with that one, which I'm tickled to see how that works. But it's got Dakota digital gauges in it, and had a guy that did my suspension work put me a single roll bar in it, just running as fast as it will run. I felt a little safer with it, and structurally it holds the car together. So
right.
But besides that, it's a stock 67 interior. Came like this from the factory, inside with the gauges and console and so forth.
Yeah. Now you're 71. I guess you're close, but not quite where you need to be yet.
Yep. Ken built me a naturally aspirated 427 for that, and I think it dynoed at 796, and I think it was 670 or so torque, I believe. I can't remember exact torque numbers.
Right.
And, I've cranked it. Sounds great. Sounds like it's going to be a beast. And the only thing I got left is actually finishing up some of the gauges and putting my seat back in it and putting the exhaust on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that one has the aluminum block. If I recall, this is an iron block.
It has an RHS aluminum block, I believe.
Right. Yeah. So I guess I'm a fan of aluminum blocks for their weight and for the cooling, and particularly at a car like a Camaro, if you're going to road race it or autocross or basically do anything where you're interested in how it handles, getting 100 pounds out of the nose of the vehicle makes a very noticeable difference.
Yeah, and that car already had an LS7 in it, and set up for that aluminum block, and so that's one of the main reasons I went with the RHS aluminum block, was just keep all the weight the same in it. And
yeah, if you don't have a big gas tank, then you have to know your mileage, because how far is it to the next gas station? Driving around, out here in the hills of Appalachia, you might not find one in the middle of the night for another 150 miles, and so if you don't have the legs, that's a problem. So
yeah, to putting out over 1,100 horsepower and getting 17 plus miles per gallon, I mean that's incredible.
Are you going to use them for different things?
No, both of them go to events like this and local shows, and travel mostly shows in the state of South Carolina, Run in the Sun and things like that, and we do jump in Power Tour and a few shows in North Carolina, so it's mainly just driving for that. So
okay, all right. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
I appreciate y'all the quality builds that y'all do, and the dependability of them, and they work very well.
Yep. Well, thank you.
All right.
See you, folks.